This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield and co-host Marney Winfield.
Hey, so today's been a great day. Got my fines all paid off and motioned the court to finally see my daughter. Figured I'd call and let you know, man. All right, later.
It is the 14th of October, 2021. My name is Corey Winfield, and Marney's asleep. She is. My man Justin's in the studio tonight, and you're a guest on the podcast, man. Welcome.
Thanks.
So that was you, obviously, in the open. And we're gonna get into all the good stuff going on in your life here in just a second. But I gotta ask you though, what was better, man? Paying off the fines or seeing your daughter?
Motion in court to see my daughter.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you were going to say that. Because if you didn't, I was going to be like, bro, like she's probably at home. She's probably crying. She's probably hurt. It's just sad, man.
Man.
That's probably her saying that stuff right now. Like, man. Nah, was she like excited to see you? Like, when's the last time you saw her? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm so confused right now.
Well, I filed paperwork with front of the court, FOC.
Like, how does that work? Like let's start the process, because there's guys out there listening right now that I know that, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially if you're in early recovery or hell, just in life. It can be confusing. There's a lot of paperwork, right?
Yeah, it's quite a bit. Like, I sat in the courthouse for an hour and a half, just waiting to see the clerk that was supposedly in a meeting. But you get like a packet of papers that you got to fill out. It's not my first time filling them out, so it happens. Every time I went off on a bender, I'd have to go back to the courthouse to go fill out this packet of papers.
Huh. So every time you would have a relapse, you'd have to go back and do all that?
Yeah, well, I'd quit seeing my daughter again.
Oh, okay.
So, like...
completely off the rails. Like,
yeah,
where'd Dad go?
Yeah, I'd go completely off the rails, go MIA for a little while.
Yeah.
But, we give everything away that we care about the most in our addiction. It doesn't discriminate on who it is, right. Sadly enough. But I did file the paperwork. Then, because I don't make a lot of money working where I work at.
You don't?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that something that you're gonna work on?
I'm trying to work on it.
Okay, that's good. I appreciate you being honest about that.
There's things in motion that it's just hypocrisy, which really stops it all.
What would your dream job be?
To drive people around to and from treatment.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Isn't it awesome though to actually connect with the people in just another way? And for me, it really helps keep me sober. Just I don't want to be in the back seat. Like
never again.
And some people are hurting, man, and they're just so confused. And I just remember being in that moment. It was 3 years ago, and it's like, man, I don't ever want to do that again.
Never.
And a lot of people look to us for advice. We got some time under our belt, and it's amazing. The rough road that we went through, and while we were going through it, that we had no idea that our stories, our journey was actually going to help somebody else one day.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I never thought the stuff I went through or what I have gone through to get where I'm at today would actually inspire hope and faith in someone else who's just starting out in recovery. And
just that self-worth, I guess you could say, that confidence. Because when we're in our active addiction, we think we're just pieces of shit, and nobody, whatever, man, nobody cares. And then people's family members, loved ones do stop caring, at least we feel that way. And, it's hard to get that back. So when we're driving people around and like people are looking up to us and, people are telling us thank you, and man, they get out and they're like, you helped me so much and you were cool. And, just that stuff that you said to me, because you and I, we don't BS people. We can't change anybody.
No, and there's no reason to put sprinkles on BS anyways.
Right.
You can't polish it to make it sell better. I mean, it's to tell people the way it is, and
the people that want to take it serious, they know they got to do it themselves. And yeah, we can give them advice from what we went through. You know, we don't tell people, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. Except when I tell you, hey man, take this recovery coach training, or hey man, sign up and waste a bunch of time to sign up with DHHS to be a driver thing for them. But going through all that, you know, like I said, we don't tell people what to do. We just, hey, this is what worked for me. This is what didn't work for me. You know, you went to Nathan's house in Boyne City. You know, I was just like, hey man, I like that place. I think that would be a good spot for you. And there's a lot of serious people there, and Jason doesn't play.
No, we don't.
If you're not serious, see ya. You know, and I loved watching people get kicked out.
It was quite entertaining sometimes.
Is that bad, or? I don't know. I loved it.
I don't really see it as bad as just when people think that they're above doing recovery.
Mm-hmm.
It would bother me, like, tremendously. Like, oh, come on, man, I made 4 meetings. No, the house rule said 5.
But I was working, and when I was there, not a lot of people had problems with going to meetings. But I've heard of people now at other places, 5 meetings. What? Like, what else are you doing, bro? Like, you don't have a job, man. Like, are you kidding me? And Zoom meetings count. And I don't think Jason counted those.
No.
Maybe he did at a certain time when, like,
2.
you couldn't go to anywhere. But yeah, you guys started having them in the house, didn't you?
Yeah, we started doing house meetings.
Okay, that was not happening when I was there. But we had house meetings all the time, though. You know, that we would just talk about recovery. Hell, we'd have meetings on the way to a meeting and then on the way home from a meeting. You know, just it was so much fun for me. And at the time, I thought it was hell. Man, I got to do this. You know, I didn't really whine about it because I was having fun with it. But I really thought it was, you know, hell, and like, damn it, we're doing this again. I got to do this. But then it became routine. And that's, I think, the whole point of it, you know, is what Jason tries to tell people. There.
Yeah, it's a routine. It's a structured, you know, you plan out your day. This is what you're doing. You have a routine. When you get your routine thrown off, that it's really detrimental, because if we don't have a routine that we do this, this, and this, and this, a structure, that we have all this free time, idle time on our hands that we don't know what to do with. Our head can start spinning gears, especially in early recovery. And so by going to those meetings and just doing everything you need to do and setting the schedule and a routine up, keeps you busy, keeps your mind off the thoughts of returning to addiction. It puts your mind in a perspective of, I feel great. I went to work today. I went and had a meeting. I'm having some dinner at the house with a few of the guys that live there. Just things like that really make you grateful at the end of the day.
It does. And for me, I learned how to get things off my chest. And that's what I used it for. You know, I went to the meetings. We would play games. It was fun. A lot of people didn't like it. I remember one time I had Beckman, Ryan. It was a meeting in Charlevoix. It was me, Ryan, Matt, and we went there. And on the way there, I think we had to wait for a boat or something, because there's a bridge that goes into Charlevoix, and we were coming from Boyne City. So we had to wait for that, and I was like, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. You know, I gave Ryan something to do. Ryan was supposed to give Matt something to do, and Matt was supposed to give, it was all, each of us had to give the other person something to do. And I gave Ryan the song Rednecker Than You. I gave him an option. I said, you have to read the lyrics to this entire song during your share, you know, during your time. You can either do Rednecker Than You, which is one of the worst songs, which talks about and glorifies drinking. Or you could do, what is it? Benny Mardones. She's just 16 years old.
That's creepy.
Doesn't know how to love. Yeah, and this is 40-year-old man, and the video is even creepier. He's chasing around this chick, like staring out the window or staring in her window, and then he goes up to the door, knocks on it, and the dad comes out, and he's like, no. Does the finger shake, like, no. And he slams the door, and then Benny Mardones is sitting there, and he's like, he huffs, crosses his hands, and then goes, stares in the window some more, and I'm like, oh my God, like, how was this video made? Like, what the F? 80s? Really? They were down with that?
Well,
They were. What? Tyrone has something to say here.
Man.
Sorry. I had to.
you know, there's lots of music that was produced back then that people don't realize the subliminal
It's pedophile
messages.
music. Yeah.
Or how about the song that came out in the 80s talked about a school shooting? I don't remember the name of it right offhand, but it was an older song and it talked about a school shooting.
Was it talking about something that happened or talking about, hey, go shoot up your school?
I'm not really for sure, but
Well, you're.
but I do
You got some
remember. I do
hard-hitting
remember
points.
it. You know.
Sort of, you remember it.
Yeah, sorta. I mean, my memory's starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah, sort of.
But you know, I never realized the song was even about a school shooting.
You're not talking about Pearl Jam's Jeremy, are you? Because that was more, it wasn't a shooting. It was just more of like a guy getting bullied and shooting. Not,
No, I don't think it was Jeremy.
because it was, that song's pretty similar.
It was an older
It
song.
was 90s.
Yeah, it was 90s.
You're younger. Your birthday's tomorrow. Big 3-5.
I remember Pearl Jam. I grew up on Pearl Jam.
Yeah, you should have.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Today, the greatest. They had a house in Watervliet. And when I was in high school, we went up there once. I'll get back to my Charlotte voice story here in just a second. I gotta, now dip into the Smashing Pumpkins. And me and this guy named Tony Lloyd, well, not really him, but I started this TV show because why not? I was a senior and I wanted to be on TV there. So they let me read the announcements, and school in Watervliet across town, they were doing it and I wanted to do it. So we started doing that. So we'd take the video camera all over and I was like, let's go Smashing Pumpkins house, man. Because everybody was saying Darcy, she was from South Haven. They had a house on M140 in Watervliet, and we went there and just, I don't think I was 17, knocking on the door, and this dude comes. He's got like a choker on, a wife beater, doesn't speak English hardly. His hair's like buzzed. He's got tattoos everywhere on a farm. Okay. And so we go up and I'm like, hey, you guys Smashing Pumpkins, is Darcy here? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Please get off our property, and we're like, is this like the Smashing? Does like Billy Corgan come here and stuff and get off our property, and we're like, oh. Then we left, but we were like driving over, like, there's no way, man. That dude ain't a farmer, man. Like, that is her house. Like, to us, that like even verified it more, and
Right.
I'm sure I still had that. Well, I don't have it obviously now, but that'd be funny to stumble across that one day.
Your school may have it.
I don't know, man. It was on a videotape somewhere. Somebody like stole them from me at one point too. So, because they were so effing funny, they were, man. People were digging it. At least, well, no, not everybody was. Most teachers, not most teachers, but some teachers who absolutely freaking hated my guts would turn off their TVs and wouldn't even let their students hear the announcements.
That's crazy.
On Fridays, because they're like, nope, that's not funny. It's just stupid. Haters. What are they gonna do? What's their job? Hating. Yeah.
Well, haters make us famous. I mean, all they do is talk about us. I mean, think about it.
I guess. No, back to Charlevoix. So Ryan had to do that. He had to read one of those, and he picked, of course, the rednecker than you. And it was so funny because it went to his turn. He's just looking at me like he's just shaking his head. And Ryan was a gamer on that, man. He would always do what he was supposed to. I did as well. Matt chickened out that time. He was so mad. Matt was so mad at us, or at least me. He was like, no, I did it, man. I did it. And I'm like, no, you didn't, man. And Ryan was like, yeah, you really didn't. And so he was all pouting on the way home. But Ryan just went through it, man. He's like, this song reminds me of my friend up in the UP, because that's where Ryan's from. And he's like, well, hold on, let me just read the lyrics. I'm like, okay, that was slick. So he gets into it, and he's just going through the whole thing, man. And then he hits the chorus, and it just keeps going over and over. And my cheeks hurt. I'm trying not to laugh out loud, but I'm trying to cover my mouth. Man, oh my God, they hurt so bad because it was just so much cheesing and smiling. And my man Tom, he's an older guy in Charlevoix. at the end of it, Cisco, and everybody was just like waiting for him to get done. Nobody said, "Hey man," and I told him, I was like, if people tell you, "Hey man, wrap it up," tell them, I just got a little bit more to go, and then just keep going, you know. But nobody said anything until the end, and Tom was like, "Huh, all right." I got a friend from the UP, and he's pretty weird too. That's what he said, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So it was pretty funny. So yeah, you know, going to meetings, getting stuff off my chest, having fun is something that I really liked, you know. And when things would bother me, I'd get it off my chest. And it all goes back to the guy with the bolt, older guy named Daryl, from Coloma. And it was early on. I was in and out of recovery, relapsing every month or two, and going back. And it was at a meeting in Riverside, and he just goes on for about 20 minutes about this bolt. I know you probably heard me tell the story already, but this bolt, he's like, I had to ride my tractor into town to get this bolt. I get home, it's the wrong size or lost it or some and he's just going on and on. I'm like, dude, man, this has nothing to do with recovery. Oh, this guy's so stupid. Hate him. And then later, I realized, man, that bolt, that could have made that dude relapse. And that when I saw him when I was back in Coloma not too long ago, Marney and I went to a meeting, and I saw him. I was like, man, it's good to see you. And I told him that story. I was like, you know, that really taught me a lot. And he was like, you know, I remember that bolt. He was like, and that bolt almost did make me go relapse, because I had been working on that all day, and he was just so mad. And I was like, yeah, I learned that from you, you know. And at the time I was just stupid and just thinking, hope this dude just shuts up. I'm ready to get out of here. But then you start thinking like, okay, I got to use these meetings for what I need them for. And some people just go there and say, hey, I'm here to listen tonight. And that's cool too.
Well, that also shows you though, that, you know, just something that little could set someone into a relapse if you're not really paying attention.
Oh, excuses for us are so easy to find, man.
Easy. Beyond easy. I hear so many BS excuses. Last week I heard a great one. My anxiety is so high that the only thing that can calm it down is doing dope.
Or got home and my wife was having a threesome with some people.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I've never really heard that one, but that would be okay. You really need to talk to a therapist or maybe talk to your wife about that divorce that you want. But unless you're into that kind of thing, then hey, man, more the merrier, right?
Right.
Just saying. But I was talking to my sister the other day too, and she's going through a rough patch, and I told her, I was like, Kylie, you know, I don't really know what you're doing, if you're drinking or not, but I'm letting you know I'm here for you. I'm not going to judge you. If you ever need to talk, I'm here. You know, like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, what not to do. I'm just saying, if things get out of control, you know, and if you are turning to drinking, you know, you're not a bad person.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you're bad at all. You know, I think you're great. And I just kind of let her know, you know, because there's no need to scold them. There's no need. I'd rather let her know that there's a door open for her, you know, like.
Well, in reality, you did the right thing. You were there for her, and at the same time, you inspired hope. Mm-hmm. All at the same time, without making her feel bad for if she is having a drink or two. Like, some people can do that, some of us can't.
I can't, you know. So, but it's quick, you know, and that's what I was kind of explaining a little bit, you know, like how quick it happened to me, and before I know it, I'm trapped and I'm hooked, and. You know, and people would come at me with the whole, oh, you're drinking again. Oh, you just, like I was just a piece of shit, dirty guy, you know, and I just had problems. I didn't know how to deal with them. And she was telling me about her anxiety. And it's like, I told her, I was like, you know, alcohol makes that worse, you know, especially like when you wake up the next day and the alcohol is leaving your system and you get that, I don't even know how to describe it, anxiety, I guess. You get more of that, and it just builds up more and more. And, you know, I was just giving her some facts about it, you know. And not judging her at all, you know. And I don't know what she's doing, if she is, if she's not, I don't know. But she knows that I'm always here for her, and I will never judge her, and I will never think she's a bad person.
Well, at the end of the day, you're just trying to support her and just let her share your wisdom that you've gone through, and leave the door open where she can feel comfortable enough still talking to you at the end of the day about whatever she is going through, to know that I've been there, done it. I mean, a vet, pretty much.
Yeah. Goes back to what we were talking about earlier about, you know, the bad times that we had to go through. At the time, I had no idea. I was gaining knowledge. You know, it felt like a lot of pain. felt like a lot of hurt, felt like a lot of disappointment, a lot of letdown. But that was building my resume almost, you know, like that was giving me, I don't want to say street cred, you know, but it was making me a real person. And, you know, when I worked at the place you work at now, it was a lot easier. And I worked at another place too, where it was I don't want to say refreshing, but it was nice to see the people come up to me. You know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a licensed therapist, but these people know that I've been through it, man, and they know that I'm serious about recovery. And so a lot of people would come up to me and ask me stuff, and you know, I would try to give them a lot of time. My problem, though, when I worked at those places was I would not judge people, but I would look at somebody and go, he's full of shit. I can see the signs, you know, like he's here to whatever because his mom wants him here, right? You know, or his wife told him to go to rehab or you can't come home. He has no intention. He's in here trying to figure out what other drugs he can use because he's not supposed to drink anymore. You know, and it's just like, and I would always, I would say, give up on people, but I wouldn't even give them a chance sometimes. I'd be like, I don't even want to mess with that dude, you know? If that dude comes up talking to me, it's going in one ear and out the other. I don't believe a word that dude says. And I think that's a problem, and I probably shouldn't.
Well, that's a character defect that we have to work on.
Yeah.
Because I get kind of the same thing there to a certain extent, because I got told the other day, you know, you give a lot of tough love here. Everyone's so nice and everything else. And here comes Justin, a complete like 180. And I'm like, but what's wrong with me? Because I tell you the way it is? Or do you want sprinkles on your BS?
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that think, well, they just need this. And you're like, no. I just heard that dude talking about how he's going to be the biggest drug dealer in Battle Creek when he gets out of here. I'm not wasting my time on that guy. You know, like, no. Oh, he just needs help. And he's not getting it here apparently. So when he gets out of here, maybe jail's good for him. I don't know. You know, I don't think jail's good for people who have drug problem, but if you're running around saying you're going to be the biggest meth dealer in Battle Creek, well, maybe you deserve some jail time. You know, yeah. That's way different than, oh man, I'm hooked on meth, or I'm hooked on alcohol or heroin or cocaine or ice cream or whatever. Way different, you know? But yeah, and it is how it is, you know? And I think that's kind of the same attitude I had when I was working there too. Is just more like, not going to sugarcoat it, you know?
I don't get the point in sugarcoating something for somebody's feelings because you may upset them a little bit. That upsetting them a little bit's either going to open up their eyes or realize that it's not their time. And they're there holding up a bed for somebody who does want it before they die.
Right.
And that's just the scary facts of recovery. People die every day.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter, and it's really irritating when you can see someone come in and they don't want to go to groups where they don't want to do anything, and they're just like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, I remember it was a big thing when I was there, you know, we used to tell the guys, if you guys ain't serious about this, there's the door. There's someone dying to get in here. And, you know, at first I kind of thought they were being a-holes, were mean, but as time went on, I really realized what was going on in that sense. Like, I didn't realize the severity of heroin use, or any opiate use at that matter, and how easy it was to OD on something in a blink of an eye. I never realized that because I never did opiates. But when I did find out all that stuff, it really opened up my eyes. It was like, wow, these people ain't bad people. Mm-mm. You know, it's like, look at Nikki Sixx. I mean,
he's a bad person, but just kidding.
But I mean, you know, he's very open about his whole drug addiction with heroin and how he tried getting clean multiple times, and
a lot of people look up to him.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't know who it's going to happen to, and I tried heroin once, snorted it, didn't do anything for me. Alcohol was my drug of choice, man. That's what I wanted, and that's what I needed. And I was just like, all right, that's a waste. And then people are like, oh man, but once you shoot it, it's something. Okay, well, whatever. It just wasn't me. Now, if I would have grown up with different friends who weren't drinkers, and we like to do other things, I'd be right there with them,
Right.
And family members always say to me, oh God, well, at least you're not, hooked on that hard stuff. At least you're not, meth head or, hooked on heroin. And I could have easily have been, like I was trying to hide from my problems, which I later learned, abandonment issues from my father or whatever. There were some other issues too, but I didn't know how to deal with them. And that's what I was doing.
Well, the sad part is, I mean, all those hard drugs you could detox off your own and you won't die. But try detoxing off alcohol by yourself.
It's scary, man.
That you've been a heavy drinker for, let's say, a year, 2 years, and you go through withdrawals, nobody's around you, and you're DTing because you want to do it on your own, you seize out and die. It happens. Same thing with benzos.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only two that really need a detox, where you actually have medical staff on site to help you.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. Like, if you do have a friend or somebody, family member or whatever, but if you know somebody who has that 20-year drinking career and you're just like, wow, you just see them going down and down and down and down, they're turning yellow, it's because their liver's failing. And a detox is not a bad thing, man. They're not bad people. These people are not bad people. They just have a problem.
Right.
And my man Tyrone, who went to Buffalo Wild Wings earlier, big props to them. They give me a Go Cup.
They enjoy our recovery talks there.
They do. Sometimes Charles will be in it, man, and they'll come up, and I'm like, oh man, she's probably thinking, what in the hell are these guys talking about?
We don't drink, and we sit in the bar area, watch sports, and order wings.
It's awesome. I love it. Especially on the Thursdays where you buy 10 boneless, you get 10 boneless free.
Oh, I didn't really know that at first.
Oh man. Yeah, you gotta. And then Tuesdays is their traditional wings.
Yeah, I knew that.
So go to Buffalo Wild Wings. A little applause. Didn't really have maybe this would have. Buffalo Wild Wings. They're your friends. That's going to be their new motto. But, yeah. So anyway, what were we talking about again? No.
Detox.
Oh, yeah. So
for alcohol.
Yeah, if you know somebody who needs it, they're not bad people. Just let them know, man. Like, look, it's all good. You're not a bad person, but let's just go get you some help, And they're probably going to be scared. They're probably going to think, well, I'm not worth it, or there's no way I can change. And that's just not true. It might take some time. It might take a few attempts. You might have to go to rehab 15 freaking times. You might have to go once.
Yeah, I was about to say I did it once, but
never know. Some
right.
people see, I was still always convinced that no, one day I can drink. And I tell people when I give them rides there, I'm like, well, for me, I had to come to terms with, nope, can't ever drink again. And until I was 100% okay with that, and again, I don't know when that was, probably when I was at Nathan's house at some point. But when I became good with that and accepted it, no, I can never drink again. I can't have one beer. I can't have a shot. I can't have any of that. And that's okay. Until I was at that point, it was just vicious circle, man. Vicious cycle. It's
all about acceptance.
Mm-hmm. I thought,
I went through the same thing the other day. Tuesday, I got off the phone with Tuesday's second Tuesday of every month's my report day. So my PO calls me, says, "Oh, well, since I paid off your fines a couple weeks ago, I put in for your request to be discharged. Haven't heard nothing back yet from your sentencing county." And then she texted me and was like, "Oh, well, they did grant you your discharge. You're waiting for your papers in the mail." And so the first thought comes to my head, I was like, shot sounds really nice because I've never had a drinking problem.
Oh, yeah.
That's
fine.
I mean,
you could have a shot.
Yeah, I could go have a nice shot. I mean, I've always enjoyed the finer whiskeys, never the bottom shelf. So I never classified myself an alcoholic. But I know, but it didn't take me long, and I was like, but it ain't going to take long, even if I do go have that shot, it's not going to be the right buzz I'm looking for, or that my addiction's looking for. And within like seconds, I talked myself out of it, knowing that I'm just going to lead myself down this lonely, dark road again after I've gained so much in my life, been involved in so many different things now compared to where I was when I was using that. I don't ever want to lose the life I have now just to go back. I mean, I've been through some tough things just like you have been through, you know, miscarriage. I lost a girlfriend that I miscarriage with, you know, just with shit like that can really hit you and we don't go use over it. That's like a win all in itself. Like, we didn't have to numb the feelings. Yeah, we may have scheduled an extra therapy appointment or something, but that's healthy.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to go pick up and use over it. We can express our feelings other ways and talk about it instead of suppressing it, because we just got to deal with it later in life anyways.
Mm-hmm. And then you just made the problems worse.
Yeah, 10 times worse.
But in those moments, it takes the time to think about it and to realize, because like you said, that's not the buzz you want. Yeah, if you don't have a real drinking problem, you start drinking, but then drinking clouds your judgment, and say you're drinking with the wrong person who just wants to do 20 shots and, hey, let's drink this whole fifth. And it was, hey, man, I know a guy, and you're already drunk, so, man, F it, man, no one's going to know. Boom. Life.
Off to the races.
Off to the races or jumping down the slope, you know?
And the crazy part was, though, I was seeing my ex-wife, and I had told her, I was like, you know, a shot sounds really good. And she kind of looked at me with a puzzled look, because when we first started talking, I was like, I don't do anything no more. My worst habit is I smoke cigarettes. I was like, that's all I do. I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I don't do any of it. And she was like, really? I was like, well, one thing leads to another, and I always either go find some form of stimulant. I want to be up. I want to enjoy it. And I'm okay with being fat now. Like, I've come to terms with being fat. Like, I was always fat all the way through school, and I've just come to terms with it. And it's probably what drove my addiction towards stimulants more, was the fact of, oh, you're up, you're moving around, you're busy, you know, and so it just kind of sheds off. You don't eat, it suppresses your appetite. So that's what I did. But she looked at me, and before she could even say anything, I was like, nah, that's not a good idea. I don't want to do it. And she's just like, where was this person at 3 years ago when you decided to pack up all your stuff and leave? And I tell her that was an addict who didn't know any better besides to do what I was showed to do by my mom growing up. Anytime things got hard, we just packed and moved. That mattered. She lost a boyfriend or whatever. It's not like we just moved within a town. We'd moved to a whole different area, you know, so she didn't have to live with the guilt and shame. It never really fully dawned on me until I started piecing together my adult life and my habits and what I did. Because I would do the same thing. I'd pack up everything and just move to a totally different area where nobody would know me. I could create a new life. Who knows? You know, but every time I go back, what I would classify home as like Lake County, Baldwin, I relapse and I fall hard on my face. It's guaranteed. There's nothing to do. And there it's like everyone uses. Like, I was talking to someone earlier today, and they said the same thing. You know, it's a vicious cycle there. Like, it's what everyone does. They drink or do drugs.
Well, I think that's a misconception, though. I think that everybody drinks or does drugs. Because I used to think everybody just went home and got trashed. Everybody does that. And then I just realized later that no, it's just the people that I know that go home and get trashed every single night. You know, so I wouldn't say everybody in Baldwin, Michigan is on drugs or, you know, has a drinking problem. I mean, yeah, but maybe you know a lot of people. But I'm just saying, like, I bet we could go there right now and find a lot of people that don't. Just saying. Just trying to clear up. I don't want to give Baldwin bad name. I mean, I have no skin in the game there, but I'm just saying, like, I just got to stick up for Baldwin a little bit.
It's pretty vicey. I mean, like a vice there. Like, there's no restaurants even left in that area, really. There's one pizza place left, and that's it. Besides that, it's all bars.
It's like my hometown, but again, not everybody that does that. I'm just saying, man. Not everybody is on drugs, but the people we hang out with and everybody we associate with. So, yeah, you would think that everybody I know, everybody there is doing drugs and drinking. But like Traverse City, there's a lady I talked to. She's like, "Oh, Traverse City doesn't have a drug problem. There aren't drugs in Traverse City." Well, I would love to see the world that you live in. Like, do you just walk on clouds and stuff? Like, when you step out of the shower, you just hear like clean. Like,
I mean, honestly, if you look at Traverse City compared to
Benton Harbor,
any of our other cities, you know, Traverse City is actually a really clean city. I'd say probably 95% of it.
Like the roads and stuff, or are you talking about the people that live here?
Just the people that live here. Its whole appearance.
Huh. That's interesting. Because everybody I know in Traverse City. No, just kidding.
I mean, there's like one bad trailer park that you drive by.
Jesus Lord.
I'm just saying, you know, but I mean, it's got older trailers in it. I've never been in there, but you know, I mean. But for the most part, just driving around Traverse, I mean, it's a really nice area to see.
Except for that one trailer park over there.
Yeah.
Isn't that across from your apartments, Corey?
No, that's down the road.
It's scary.
No, that's the one I'm talking about. It's down the road on the other side.
There's two trailers. Oh, yeah. That's just down the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man. I know you wanted to come out here and talk about stuff that was doing good, but I don't know how long we've been going.
I don't know.
Quite a bit, but yeah, we didn't announce it earlier, but the podcast tonight is actually being recorded. Got the camera, and I don't know. I mean, we were looking at some of the video, and I'm like, I don't know if the quality is that good. But then, I mean, the reviews I read said it was all right, so we're gonna throw that up onto the YouTube.
There we go.
And I mean, there's a button where we could went Facebook Live, which I thought we were doing earlier when we were like
playing with it.
Yeah, BSing around. I'm like, oh my God, it said Facebook Live. And I'm like, oh, does it want to go live? And I'm like, oh my God, I think we are live, you know? And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have a Facebook account associated with this. So at least I hope that wasn't live.
Oh, well.
Yeah. But it is Shout Out Thursday. So we'll give a shout out to my beautiful wife who's asleep. She's going through some pain with her back right now. And hopefully she can get some surgery and get that taken care of. But yeah, she's in a lot of pain, man. I feel bad for her. And
I know it's the first time I've actually ever been over here where she's never said hi or anything. So I can tell she's in pain and resting.
Yeah. So there's a shout out. Shout out, my love. I want to give a shout out to my man, Chris. Goes by Critter Man. And this is crazy, man, because some people, like, I'm like, man, I haven't heard from that dude in a while. And I'll, like, shoot him a message on Facebook. And Chris, he used to live at Ethan's house. And we had a funny experience about my car dying, which I did a podcast about. We can get into that later. But he's in Florida now. He's the president of a sober living house down there. And I was like, good job, buddy, you know, and keep it up. And he says he'll go out and have his coffee in the morning, sit on the back porch, and he'll play our podcast. He said some of the guys come out, and he said one of the guys one time was like, man, that guy's good. He should be on the radio. And Chris would be like, oh, yeah, well, he was, man. Like, that's kind of why he's doing his thing now. This is something that he does that helps him stay sober, and he gives him the whole story. And he said he was proud and appreciates it. And I told him, I was like, all right, man, well, you tell them dudes that like us, sign up to win a free shirt. That's the secret is anybody who signs up gets one. Because I figure if somebody's going to take the time to go sign up, I'll send them a damn shirt. You know, like, why not? We have tons of them in here.
You know, I heard that you donated a bunch of stuff to a local treatment center.
I did yesterday.
I didn't get to see any of the merch, but
No?
I heard it was very, very clever.
Yeah, let me hold on. I'll show you the picture, and I'm gonna wrap up the shout outs here. But
So shout out. I got someone I want to shout out to. Daryl. I met him at Nathan's house, and he's battled addiction, cancer, more addiction because of the cancer, but he's finally got his head on his shoulders and realize that there's, even though he's got cancer and it's in remission or whatever, and even though it keeps throwing him curveballs, but he's really managed to become more mindful of everything and to really take recovery seriously to the point, I think he's only got 3-4 months right now, maybe 5. But he's done such a phenomenal job that the people in the recovery community is really noticing his progress from where he was at a year ago when, you know, he was in a tea house and relapsed horribly, I heard. You know, went back to treatment, went to Nathan's house. He had a flare-up from his cancer, and they gave him a bunch of opiates, and it started his addiction all over again. Now he goes in for surgery, and he doesn't even get opiates for any pain management. You know, I got to really give it up to him.
big shout out, Matt Latin. What's up, dog? Matt's so funny. I talked about the story earlier with him and how mad he was at the Charlotte Void thing, and we were like, dude, you didn't do it. He did some really funny ones too, though. There was a rap song one time, and I was like, hey, man, you got to say these lyrics. And he's like, okay. And we're at this meeting, a meeting that we normally didn't go to, and it was in Boyne City, and they had started a LBGTQ meeting. And so we went there, and that's the first time we'd ever went to that, and we didn't care, man. We were going to a meeting, and I told him the line to say. It was from a song from AMG, and he busted out, and he's like, they call me Baby Snickers because my dad was a candy. And then there's a word that a lot of people probably shouldn't say, and he just said it. And everybody at the meeting was like, oh my God, did he just really say that? And I think it took him a minute to get it, and he's like, oh my God, like, because he was just like so focused on getting that line down, you know. And we were like, bro, like, I don't know about that word, but that's okay, man. That's funny. And also, I want to give a shout out to Lisa from Alpena Recovery Alliance. I gotta get back with her, man. She sent me a message about I was in COVID and all that crap, and I told her I think to set up I wanted to get it with her on that weekend or something and talk to her, but I was still sick, man, and but I'm gonna get with her and see. But she was like, hey, man, I got some things that we need to work on, and I think you could really help or something. So,
well, that's cool.
Yeah, she's a cool chick, so I figured, yeah, definitely hit her back up, and I figured I'd give her a little shout out because it's Shout Out Thursday.
Yeah, it's really nice in Northern Michigan how all the recovery organizations really come together to try to help out everybody.
Yeah, it is cool. So what was I going to get back into after the shout outs? I can't. Oh yeah, I sent you the picture of one of the items. And this is something that I wanted to do when I worked at Big Dog 95.9 in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And I brought it to my boss, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
That's funny.
But I think it was like toilet paper. We wanted to give away I wanted to give away toilet paper and something else, and because something was going, I can't remember what it was exactly. But I came up with this promotion. I was promotions director there as well as program director and website guy and 18 other titles. But I told him, I was like, I want to have the promotion, and we call it Big Dog 95.9 cares about your ass. And my boss said, no, Now, if you still want to be employed here, and I said, well, all right then, that's cool. But when I worked at a few different treatment places, I would see people come in, and I remember one of the first things that I started doing when I got back on track, and it was before I even went to treatment last time, is I didn't spend money on clothes because I had to buy liquor. So my clothes, I had to have rips in the crotch. I didn't even care, man, So I started dressing nice. I started wearing nice clothes. And it made a difference. It made me feel better. And when I went to treatment, I wore nice clothes, like I liked that. That's how I dressed. That was how I dressed. People were like, oh, you going to court today? No, I just like wearing nice clothes. I'm not used to it. And it feels good. It makes me feel good. And a lot of people come in there, man. They have one pair of pants, one shirt.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even have socks. I worked the place you're at, and this guy, he didn't have any underwear. And I was like, So socks are coming on Sunday. We got the underwear in the other day, and I put the 217 logo on them. And we'll post the picture on Facebook too. But I put the logo on them, and I was talking to Marney about it. I was like, we should put cares about your ass underneath the logo because I really wanted to use that. So I did, and it looks pretty cool. And she's like, people are going to fight over that. I was like, what? They're not going to fight over it. She's like, oh, no, that's going to be the hottest thing in there. I was like, what? Like, they're underwear, babe. She's like, no, people will steal them. I'm like, honey, nobody's stealing somebody's underwear. She's like, oh, watch. They will. Everybody's going to want those. I was like, no. And then I dropped them off, and I talked to Karen. She's like, this is going to be one of the hottest things in here right now. I was like, that's what Marney said. I was like, they're underwear. I was like, nobody's going to steal somebody else's underwear, are they? And she's like, well, you never know. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, and we dropped off a bunch of shirts and underwear because, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know about you, but when I get a brand new pair of socks, they're so comfortable.
I know.
And they're so white or brown or black, whatever color, but they're just so perfect. Black. And you pull them on. Oh, they feel so good. A lot of these people don't know what that's like. I mean, not everybody that goes to treatment's that level of screwed.
Well, no.
Hard times, but
I'd say 75%.
Yeah. But it's hard, man.
And there's even guys that would come in there that you wouldn't even think are in that hard of a time. And they really are. Like, you could tell that wouldn't be them or how they were raised or brought up, but you can really tell that's where their addiction took them.
Yeah, that's where that flavored vape got them.
Yeah, the flavored vape,
Yeah. Hate our governor. I mean, I hate our governor getting so much flack over stuff. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, you don't want to be shadow banned.
What is that?
Oh, we're censored.
They can't censor me, bro.
Oh, they could.
How?
We'll talk.
They're going to take me out?
No, we'll just talk later.
Whatever. But yeah, so we dropped that stuff off. And like I said, we got socks coming for them on Sunday. So, or maybe Monday. I got to figure out what logo I'm going to put on those.
The little circle logo.
Mm-hmm. Something. I don't know. Maybe just my face. I like putting my face on stuff too. It's pretty cool.
I know our faces kind of look a lot alike when my beard's trimmed down. And so I get, oh, you got your face on your shirt? I'm like, yeah, it works out great.
Oh, man. And my friend Eric, he gave a shirt to his mom or something. And she's like, oh, look, finally a recovery organization that's supporting Jesus. She thought it was Jesus. I didn't have the heart to tell him, hey, bro, that's me. I was just like, oh, yeah. But, I'm down with God, and Jesus is a big fan of mine. So we actually have a shirt. Jesus is a big fan of 217 Recovery.
Yeah.
So
I like my shirt that says that.
You got that one too?
Yeah, I got that one too somewhere. I got
Jesus
a bunch of them.
Fan. It's like 217 Recovery, and then it has like Jesus, like not the real Jesus, but like cartoon Jesus.
Yeah,
it's even better.
I need to actually go through my closet and donate some clothes.
Yeah,
it's getting to be that time.
That's what Marney's saying too. Like 90% of her closet's 217 stuff.
I bet you a good portion of it was. Like, I was actually trying to see this girl this summer. She's like, is that all you wear is 217 Recovery stuff? You don't have anything else? I'm like, no, that's what I choose to wear. There's a difference.
I mean, our style's changed a little bit, but I like the Puma font we got going now. I really like that. I think it's cool. And that's my problem too, is I'm always trying to change things. And I don't know. I just always want to make it better. But our stuff's pretty cool, and people do like it. We have some sweatshirts, and we're probably going to give some away. Now, those I'm not going to give away to everybody who wants to win one, because those are a lot more expensive. So, actually, we're going to raffle one off too. That's what we're going to do. Raffle that, and then the Cubs autograph. You saw it today.
Yeah, that's nice.
It is. But yeah, I just got to get time to do it, man. I said I was going to do it by this weekend, and that's still a goal of mine. It's on my list of things to do. So look for that. If you want to watch this, which, like I said, we should have probably talked about that at the beginning. So that way people can be like, well, I don't want to listen to it. I want to watch it. But now you can go back after you listen and watch it again with your family.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
That'd be so awesome.
Oh,
as long as it's not an LG.
Yeah, not a fan. Don't ever buy an LG, by the way. That's a public service announcement. They have a TV that I bought. It's a Nano or something, Nano cell. They're aware of it sucking, and they're just like, yeah, well, that's how it's made. There's like a ghost, like in some movies you see, and it's like it just brings the light out. You can't even really see. And it just follows along the whole screen. It's just a pain in the ass. And I'm like, hey, can you just send me a new TV? And they're like, no, there's nothing wrong with that TV. That's how it's supposed to work. I'm like, it's supposed to suck? Well, yeah, I mean, that's just how it's supposed to be. So don't ever buy an LG. I know my brother, I bought an LG anyway. No, it's not the same, bro. LG sucks. Sony, I guess, is the way to go anyway. That's for real talk. That's what I've heard.
Sharp.
Sure, anything. Westinghouse, I don't care. Just don't buy an LG, and I just save somebody like a lot of money,
right?
A lot of heartache, a lot of frustration.
Well, there's a reason why they quit making certain
cell phones,
lines.
And the stuff they were making parts for the car, and that blew up a couple times, so they had to go through. I think it was a Chevy that they were doing that. And
yeah,
LG sucks.
It sounds about right.
Yeah, Google it. There you go.
Isn't it about the year you bought your? It's same as your Equinox, though.
Just kind of fell into that, man.
Oh.
And that's fine. And then my Equinox has no LG crap in it. So that's truth. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. And some people are probably like, why is it all blue and stuff?
Because that's studio lights.
That's the way the studio looks. There you go. So we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Hopefully we'll keep doing this. So, yeah, thanks, and we'll have to have you on again. You can actually talk about what you wanted to talk about today next time.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, happy early birthday.
Well, thank you.
And 35, man, it's way harder than 34. Can't wait till you get to 43. Whew. Yeah.
Well, at least this time I can be thankful enough to be able to say, oh, yeah, hopefully I hit there. Where before it would be like, oh, who cares? I'm living for today.
Right.
I got to figure out how to use more.
Oh.
Not I live for the moment and be thankful for everything I do have.
Well, thanks for coming by, man, being on the podcast with me. Thanks for the patience where we set up the camera and tried to figure out where to put it, and you put it on one of the candles, which actually worked out a lot better because we had it kind of far back earlier, and I was like, man, that looks like crap. And then we should get on Skype, and then that didn't work, and it was like, whatever, man. So, again, appreciate you coming by, Justin. Thanks for going to Buffalo Wild Wings and having dinner with Tyrone and Charles and myself. And if you do want to win a shirt, 217recovery.com. And what you do, put your email in there, and we don't spam people. And people who've signed up for our email list are probably like, are they ever going to send me an email about anything? We will when we got something for you.
I'm still waiting for my assistant email address, but it's cool.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
Yeah.
No, thanks again for listening. 217recovery.com. There's resources. There's all kinds of information about us, about what 217 recovery even means and what the 217 stands for. And if you don't have our app yet, you should get that. That's pretty cool. And I had a problem with uploading the AA daily reflections. It's like we ran out of room or something. And so I hit them people up. Then I got COVID. And I'll get to that soon. I don't know how many people actually go to our app for that, but it's convenient. You know, just 2 clicks on your phone and boom, you're there. You know, you don't have to go to a website or nothing, and just you got daily reflections. You know, you got the 24 hours and stuff like that. So that'll be back up there very soon. Again, I'm still trying to catch up with the COVID. And you asked me, how's college going? And I just was like, well, it's really not yet. Like, still trying to catch up with that too. So thankfully, two of my professors were like, yeah, man, that COVID sucks and we get it. We'll let you make up some stuff, but it's just hard, man. I'm busy guy.
It is what it is.
You know, but Marney's just like, honey, it's not going to do itself. You got to get in there and do it. I'm like, but I'm sending emails right now. You know, it's like, well, what's more important? I'm like, I don't know. You ask me right now, I'm going to tell you this email.
Well, it depends on what topic we're talking about.
Yeah, but no, I just need to set some, like tomorrow I was going to do it, but I got to take a woman to treatment. So maybe tomorrow night. I don't know. You know, instead of watching football, or I can multitask, watch football and do some homework tonight. But again,
I know I've been checking my fantasy as we've been doing the podcast.
So thanks for listening. It was my point. And sign up to win a free shirt. Download the app. We're in the App Store and the Google Play Store. I'm out of here. We'll talk to you, and hopefully video again on Saturday. I know what day it was, guys. Just trying to figure it out.
Deuces.
Yeah. See you.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.